I'm going to look at how to append two arrays in Julia and some of the other array operations that we can do. So I'm a new programmer to Julia, and I'm sharing as I learn with the community on YouTube to see if we can encourage each other to work together to hopefully build a project in the future. I'm working towards something. So I've had to look up how to append an array in Julia. And I tried recording this a minute ago, and the mistake I made was to miss out this apostrophe. So let's define our two arrays first. And array 2. So I've got two arrays defined there, and now we append them. So the mistake I made the first time was to do this, which doesn't work. So Julia came back, the REPL came back to me and said that that's not defined. However, what I should have done was put in this apostrophe. Yeah, see, that's better. So there is a function here, append with an apostrophe, array 1 and array 2. There we go. So what has happened there is that you can see over here in the workspace, array 2 has been appended to array 1. So array 1 has been changed. It doesn't resemble the array 1 that we define at all. Array 2 hasn't been changed. It's still here. So that's what the apostrophe means in Julia. If you're going to modify, if you're writing a function yourself that might modify one of its arguments, it's convention to include this apostrophe. So the apostrophe symbolizes that one or more of the arguments to the function is going to be modified. In this case, array 1 was modified by our append function. And that's the step I was missing before. So let's see what else we can do in Julia with arrays. Well, one thing I noticed, let's try two-dimensional arrays. So let's try array 2D1 equals, how do we define two-dimensional arrays? Can we do it like this? No, okay. How do we define two-dimensional arrays in Julia? Now I know we can use the fill function. I saw that earlier. Julia, two-dimensional array. As you can see, I'm new to Julia myself, and I'm trying to share as I learn. So here's how to construct a new array. So the Julia documentation seems to recommend filling in a... Oh, okay, interesting. Has a comma, so no concatenation occurs. Okay, if the arguments inside the square brackets are separated by semicolons or new lines instead of commas, vertically concatenated. Ah, okay. So let's try array 2D1 equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, missing separator in array expression. Okay, so how do we're looking to make our two-element array. No, I don't want that. I want a two-dimensional array. So just as in other programming languages, an array, the representation, Julia, is an array of arrays. So I know that's a bit complicated, but the REPL will treat it like a two-dimensional array, but it looks like it's an array of arrays. So let's try this again. Our 2D array should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So that's a 2 by 3 array. And now we try our second two-dimensional array. Let's do it as zeros. So zeros, what's the syntax for zeros? I believe it was here. There should be a an array of all zeros. Okay. So zeros should be, we do our zeros with a capital. Oh no, okay, that didn't work either. Zeros with a capital. Is there no E? Ah, I'm spelling it wrong. So let's try that. Zeros. Oh no, still not happening. ZEROS 1. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So zeros, 1. Let's try, what are the dimensions? We want 4. What's that going to do? Oh, that gives us a 1 by 4. Okay. So zeros is a way to start to initialize a zero, to initialize an array with all zeros. Let's try, so we have a 2 by 3 array. So let's do 2 by 3. That gives us our, oh, we need to assign that to something. So array 2-dimensional 2 zeros 2 by 3. Excellent. So we've got 2 arrays now over here. Array 2D1, array 2D2, and let's try appending them. So what happens if we do append array 2D1, array 2D2? As you can see, I've already forgotten my apostrophe syntax because this is going to modify to, and I've forgotten my underscore here. Okay, so we cannot append to 2-dimensional arrays, or is it because they are interesting? What about concatenation? No. Okay. So how do we join two 2-dimensional arrays together? Appending multi-dimensional arrays. So we've got our 2 arrays, cats. I wonder if we can use cats. So cat takes 3 methods. I kind of wish it would tell you when you typed in the function what sort of methods it takes. Because Julia seems to have strong types, we can, it would be nice to see what sort of functions are available when you type it in, because that might give us a hint on how we can use the function. But let's try cat like this. Oops. Array 2D2. No, okay. Okay, so I think there's a way that we can use dimensions. Argument dims not assigned. Cat int array where. Got me a bit stumped here on how to put an array together. So I think what's missing is some information about how to join the arrays. Okay, append a 2D array to a. Append. Okay, well, what did we try? Append. And it says to use this, so append array 2D1, array 2D2. I think what's wrong is that this is a float. Let's try a third array where it's all floats. So we'll do array 2D3. Actually, we'll do integers because I saw an alternative syntax there where we can do what was it? 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So we've got our 2 by, oh, this is 2 by 2. Okay. But let's see if we can do append now that they're the same type. And we can do array 2D1, array 2D2, 2D3. No, okay. Oh, that's because of my mistake. 2D3. Should probably come up with better variable names. Okay, so it looks like we can't use append like this. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I have to investigate this further. So it looks like the easiest way to append two arrays in Julia is to use the append function with the apostrophe, append apostrophe like that. If, as you can see from all the errors I've had playing around with it, if you're dealing with arrays of multiple dimensions, it might be a bit more complicated to append them together. Julia needs a hint on how you want those arrays appended, whether you'd want them joined that way or joined that way, and seems to be able to do that using this cat function. I wish they'd give more details in the documentation. I wish it'd be a bit easier to figure out how to concatenate things. However, it's my job to go away and study it and share it with you. But that's the basics of how to append an array and some of the details that come with it. If you're interested in more information like this, where I've done a bit more research first beforehand, check out my other videos below. Particularly, if you're interested in how I got to this setup of Atom, Juno, and Julia working together, I've done an installation video that takes you through step by step how to install Julia. So check out that video. Otherwise, hit subscribe, and I'll be back shortly with more information about working with Julia.